Marcus Hamilton sat at the head of the long table in the boardroom. His hands were shaking slightly as he looked at the reports in front of him. The numbers were bad, very bad. His company, Hamilton Industries, was in serious trouble. The room was filled with his top people. There was Kevin Brooks, his chief engineer. Next to him sat Patricia Williams, the head of finance. Linda Carter from Human Resources was there too. They all looked worried. They had good reason to be worried. For 6 months they had been working on a new aircraft engine. This was not just any engine. The United States military wanted to buy it. If everything went well, the contract would be worth $500 million. That kind of money could change everything for Hamilton Industries. But nothing was going well. Nothing at all. Marcus cleared his throat and spoke. "Tell me again what happened in yesterday's test." Kevin Brooks shifted in his chair. He was a smart man with 20 years of experience. But right now, he looked like a man who had run out of ideas. "The engine failed again, Marcus. Just like the last 3 times. The metal parts broke under stress. The whole system shut down after only 15 minutes. 15 minutes, Marcus repeated. He felt sick to his stomach. The military needs an engine that can run for hours without problems. 15 minutes is useless. Patricia Williams looked at her financial reports. "We have spent $12 million on this project so far. If we don't fix this problem soon, we will lose everything. The Pentagon has given us 30 days to make it work. After that, they will cancel the contract." Marcus knew what that meant. If they lost this contract, Hamilton Industries would probably go out of business. They had put all their money and effort into this project. There was no backup plan. "What about hiring more engineers?" Marcus asked. "Maybe we need fresh ideas." Kevin shook his head. "We already lost 3 of our best people. They quit because they couldn't figure it out. The problem is too complex. Every time we fix one thing, something else breaks." Marcus felt angry. He had built this company from nothing. 25 years ago, he started with just 5 employees in a small workshop. Now they had over 200 people working for them. They made parts for airplanes, cars, and machines. They were successful. But this engine project was different. It was bigger than anything they had tried before. "There has to be a solution," Marcus said. "Engines are just machines. All machines can be fixed." "Maybe we should accept that this project is too big for us," Patricia suggested. "We could tell the Pentagon that we need more time. Or maybe we should give up and focus on our regular business." Marcus slammed his hand on the table. "Give up? Do you know what will happen if we give up? Our competitors will laugh at us. No one will trust us with big projects again. We will be stuck making small parts for the rest of our lives." The room went quiet. Everyone knew Marcus was right. This was their big chance. If they succeeded, Hamilton Industries would become a major player in the defense industry. If they failed, they might not survive. Linda Carter had been quiet during most of the meeting. She was the kind of person who listened more than she talked. But now she raised her hand slightly. "Marcus, can I say something?" Marcus nodded. "Go ahead, Linda. I know this might sound strange, but there is someone in our company who might be able to help." Kevin Brooks laughed. "Linda, we have already talked to every engineer in the building. They all looked at the plans. None of them could find the problem." "I'm not talking about an engineer," Linda said. "I'm talking about Maya Washington." "Who is Maya Washington?" Marcus asked. "She works in our maintenance department. She has been with us for 2 years. She fixes machines around the factory." Marcus frowned. "Linda, we need engineers for this project, not maintenance workers." "I know it sounds crazy," Linda continued. "But Maya is different. She has fixed machines that our engineers couldn't fix. Last month, the big press in the metal shop broke down. 3 engineers worked on it for a week. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. Maya looked at it for 2 hours and found the problem. She fixed it in 1 day." Kevin looked annoyed. "That's completely different. Fixing old machines is not the same as designing new engines." "Maybe not," Linda said. "But Maya understands how things work. She sees problems that other people miss. And she only has a community college degree, but she is very smart." Marcus thought about this. He was desperate. They had tried everything else. Maybe it was time to try something different. What exactly does Maya do in maintenance? Marcus asked. She fixes everything, Linda explained. Computers, machines, electrical systems. Last year, our main computer system crashed. The IT company said it would take 3 days to fix. Maya stayed late and had it working by morning. She never gives up on a problem. Patricia looked skeptical. But does she know anything about aircraft engines? I don't know, Linda admitted. But she understands mechanical systems better than anyone I have ever met. And right now we don't have many other options. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. He thought about all the money they had spent. He thought about the 30-day deadline. He thought about what would happen if they failed. Finally, he made a decision. Bring her in, Marcus said. What's the worst that could happen? We are already failing. Maybe a fresh pair of eyes will see something we missed. Kevin looked unhappy. Marcus, this is a serious project. We can't just bring in random maintenance workers and hope for the best. Maya is not random, Linda said. She has solved problems that your engineers couldn't solve. Marcus held up his hand. I have made my decision. Linda, talk to Maya. See if she is interested in looking at our engine problem. Tell her it's temporary. Tell her we need someone with practical experience to give us advice. Kevin was still shaking his head. I can't believe we are doing this. Kevin, your way isn't working, Marcus said firmly. We have 30 days to save this company. I don't care if the solution comes from a college professor or a maintenance worker. I just want results. Linda nodded. I'll talk to Maya this afternoon. As the meeting ended, Marcus wondered if he was making a mistake. But he was out of options. Sometimes, when everything else fails, you have to try something completely different. He just hoped Maya Washington was as good as Linda said she was. The clock was ticking, 29 days to go. Maya Washington was surprised when Linda Carter called her to the office. Maya had been working on a broken conveyor belt in the shipping department when her phone rang. She wiped her hands on her work clothes and wondered what HR wanted with her. Maya, please sit down, Linda said when Maya arrived at her office. I have an unusual request for you. Maya sat in the chair across from Linda's desk. She was 28 years old and had been working at Hamilton Industries for 2 years. She loved her job in maintenance because every day brought different problems to solve. But she had never been called to HR before. Am I in trouble? Maya asked. Linda smiled. No, not at all. Actually, we need your help with something important. Very important. Linda explained about the engine project and the problems they were having. She told Maya about the military contract and the 30-day deadline. Maya listened carefully, trying to understand why they wanted her involved. I don't know anything about aircraft engines, Maya said when Linda finished. I fix machines around the factory. That's different. Marcus thinks you might see things our engineers are missing, Linda explained. You have a gift for solving problems. Everyone knows that. Maya thought about this. She had always been good with machines. Even as a little girl, she took apart clocks and radios to see how they worked. Her mother used to get angry when Maya broke something, but Maya always managed to put it back together. Usually it worked better than before. What would I have to do? Maya asked. Just look at the engine designs and give us your thoughts. You don't have to make any big changes, we just want your opinion. Maya felt nervous but also excited. This sounded like the biggest challenge she had ever faced. Okay, she said. I'll try. The next morning, Linda took Maya to the engineering department. The room was filled with computers, drawing tables, and technical equipment. Several engineers were working at their desks. They looked up when Maya walked in. Kevin Brooks came over to meet them. He did not look happy. So you're the maintenance worker who's going to solve our engine problem, he said. His voice sounded sarcastic. I'm just here to look, Maya said quietly. Maybe I can help. Maybe I can't. Kevin showed Maya to a desk in the corner of the room. He gave her copies of the engine plans and technical reports. These are the blueprints, he said. Good luck understanding them. Maya spread the papers on her desk and began to study them. The drawings were complex, with hundreds of parts and measurements. But Maya was patient. She looked at each section carefully. trying to understand how everything worked together. The other engineers ignored her mostly. Sometimes she heard them talking quietly among themselves. She caught words like foolish and waste of time. Maya tried not to listen. For 3 days, Maya studied the plans during her regular work hours. Then she started staying late to look at them more. She asked Linda if she could take copies home to study at night. Linda said yes. Maya's small apartment became filled with engine diagrams. She taped them to her walls and spread them on her kitchen table. She made her own notes and drawings. Slowly, she began to see patterns. On Friday of her first week, Maya noticed something strange. One part of the engine was supposed to handle very high temperatures and pressure. But when she looked at the materials list, she saw they were using a type of metal that she knew was not strong enough. Maya had worked with similar metals in the factory. She knew how they behaved under stress. The metal specified in the plans would crack after a short time under the conditions the engine would face. She made notes about this and several other things she noticed. Then she kept studying. The following week, Maya found more problems. The cooling system had flaws that would cause hot spots. Some bolts were too small for the forces they would have to handle. The fuel injection system had timing issues that would cause inefficiency. Maya was excited. She was seeing things that made sense to her. These were not theoretical problems. They were practical issues that any experienced mechanic would recognize. On Wednesday of her second week, Maya asked to speak with Kevin Brooks. She brought her notes with her. "I think I found some problems," Maya said, sitting across from Kevin's desk. Kevin looked annoyed. "What kind of problems?" Maya showed him her notes. She explained about the metal specifications and the cooling system issues. She talked about the bolts and the fuel injection timing. Kevin listened, but his expression grew more skeptical. "Maya, these specifications were chosen by engineers with advanced degrees. We ran computer simulations. Everything checked out mathematically. But I've seen what happens to this type of metal under stress," Maya said. "It always fails in the same way." "Computer models don't lie," Kevin replied. "Your practical experience with factory machines doesn't apply to high-tech aircraft engines." Maya felt frustrated. She could see the problems clearly, but Kevin wouldn't listen to her explanations. "What if I'm right?" she asked. "You're not right," Kevin said firmly. "But thank you for your input." Maya left Kevin's office feeling discouraged. But she didn't give up. She kept studying the plans and making notes. She also started researching the specific metals and materials online. She learned about their properties and failure rates. 2 weeks later, Maya had a complete analysis of the engine's problems. She had identified 7 major issues that would cause failure. She also had ideas for how to fix each problem. Maya asked Linda to arrange a meeting with Marcus Hamilton. She was nervous about talking to the CEO, but she knew her ideas were important. Marcus met with Maya in his office on a Friday afternoon. Maya brought her notes and spread them on his desk. "Mr. Hamilton, I think I know why the engine keeps failing," Maya said. Marcus looked at her notes. The writing was clear and the diagrams were neat. "Explain it to me," he said. Maya went through each problem she had found. She explained why the current design would fail and what needed to be changed. She spoke simply but confidently. Marcus listened carefully. Maya's explanations made sense to him. They were logical and based on real-world experience. "Have you shown this to Kevin?" Marcus asked. "Yes, sir. He said I was wrong. He said the computer simulations proved the design was correct." Marcus thought about this. The computer simulations had been wrong so far. The engine had failed every test. Maybe it was time to trust practical experience over theoretical models. "Maya, I want you to make these changes to one test engine. Can you do that?" Maya's eyes lit up. "Yes, sir. I know exactly what needs to be done. How long will it take?" "If I can work with the machine shop, maybe 1 week." Marcus nodded. "Do it. I'll make sure you get whatever help you need." Maya spent the next week working with the machine shop to build a modified engine. She personally supervised every change. She selected different metals, redesigned the cooling system, and adjusted the fuel injection timing. The other engineers watched skeptically. They were sure Maya's changes would make things worse, but Maya was confident. She had seen these problems before, and she knew how to fix them. When the test day arrived, everyone gathered in the testing facility. Marcus was there, along with Kevin and the other engineers. Maya stood quietly in the back, hoping her modifications would work. The engine started perfectly. It ran smoothly at low power, then at medium power. Finally, they pushed it to full power. The engine performed flawlessly. After 2 hours of testing, Marcus stopped the test. The engine had passed every requirement. It was working perfectly. Everyone in the room was amazed. Everyone except Maya. She had known it would work. Marcus walked over to Maya. "Congratulations," he said. "You just saved this company." Maya smiled. She had solved the impossible problem, but she didn't know that her biggest challenge was just beginning. The news about the successful engine test spread through Hamilton Industries like wildfire. By Monday morning, everyone in the company knew that the impossible problem had been solved. Workers in the cafeteria talked about it. Office staff whispered about it in the hallways. Even the security guards were discussing the amazing breakthrough. Maya came to work that Monday feeling proud but also confused. People she had never spoken to before were congratulating her. Some seemed genuinely happy for her. Others looked at her with surprise, as if they couldn't believe a maintenance worker had accomplished something so important. But Maya noticed something strange. When people talked about the engine success, they didn't always mention her name. Some said the engineering team had figured it out. Others said it was a group effort or a company-wide success. Maya didn't think much about it at first. She was just happy the engine was working. The important thing was that Hamilton Industries would get the military contract and everyone would keep their jobs. On Tuesday, Marcus called a company-wide meeting in the main assembly hall. Maya had never seen so many employees in one place. Marcus stood on a small stage with a microphone, looking very pleased. "I have great news," Marcus announced. "Our engine project has been successful. We have solved all the technical problems and the Pentagon is very impressed with our work." Everyone cheered and clapped. Maya felt excited to hear what Marcus would say about her contributions. "This success shows what we can accomplish when we work together," Marcus continued. "Our engineering team, led by Kevin Brooks, worked day and night to find solutions. They collaborated with various departments and used innovative approaches to overcome every challenge." Maya waited for Marcus to mention her name, but he kept talking about the team effort and the engineering department's dedication. He praised Kevin Brooks for his leadership. He thanked the machine shop for their precision work. He even mentioned the cafeteria staff for keeping everyone fed during long work days, but he never said Maya's name. Maya felt confused and hurt. She looked around the room. Some people were looking at her with sympathy. They knew the truth. But many others were clapping for Kevin and the engineering team. After the meeting, Maya walked slowly back to her work area. Linda Carter caught up with her in the hallway. "Maya, are you okay?" Linda asked. "You look upset." "Why didn't Mr. Hamilton mention my name?" Maya asked. "I'm the one who found the problems. I'm the one who fixed them." Linda looked uncomfortable. "I'm sure it was just an oversight. Marcus was probably nervous speaking to so many people." But Maya didn't think it was an oversight. Something was wrong. That afternoon, Maya went to Kevin Brooks' office. She wanted to understand what was happening. "Kevin, can I ask you something?" Maya said. Kevin was working at his computer. He barely looked up. "What is it, Maya?" "In the company meeting, Mr. Hamilton said the engineering team solved the engine problems. But I'm the one who found the solutions. Don't you think that's confusing?" Kevin finally looked at her. His expression was not friendly. "Maya, you need to understand something. Yes, you made some observations. But engineering is about more than just spotting problems. It's about analysis, calculations, and professional expertise." "But my solutions worked," Maya said. "The engine is running perfectly with my changes." "Your suggestions worked," Kevin corrected. "But we had to evaluate them, test them, and implement them properly. That's what engineers do. You provided input, but we did the real work." Maya felt angry. "That's not true. I designed the modifications myself. I supervised the machine shop work. I selected the materials. Kevin's voice became stern. Maya, you're a maintenance worker, not an engineer. You don't have the education or credentials to claim credit for complex engineering solutions. We appreciate your help, but let's keep things in perspective. Maya left Kevin's office feeling angry and confused. She knew what she had done. She had solved the problems that Kevin and his team couldn't solve, but somehow they were taking credit for her work. Over the next few days, Maya noticed more changes. When she went to the engineering department to check on some technical details, she found that her original reports and notes had been rewritten. Her name was removed from many documents. Instead, the reports showed that Kevin Brooks and 2 other senior engineers had developed the solutions. Maya's detailed analysis of the metal problems was now credited to Robert Miller, a senior materials engineer. Her cooling system redesign was attributed to Nancy Price, the thermal systems specialist. Even her fuel injection improvements were listed under the name of another engineer. Maya made copies of her original notes before they could be changed. She also saved the email she had sent to Kevin explaining her findings. She had a feeling she might need proof of her work later. On Friday, Marcus called Maya to his office. She hoped he wanted to correct the mistake and give her proper credit. Maya, sit down, Marcus said with a big smile. I have good news for you. Maya sat in the chair across from his desk, feeling hopeful. Because of your contributions to the engine project, I'm promoting you, Marcus announced. You're going to be our new junior engineer. You'll get a raise, better benefits, and your own desk in the engineering department. Maya should have felt happy, but something didn't seem right. What about credit for solving the engine problems? She asked. Marcus's smile faded slightly. Maya, you need to think about the bigger picture here. This success benefits everyone at Hamilton Industries. We're a team. When the team wins, everyone wins. But people think Kevin and the other engineers solved the problems, Maya said. That's not true. Marcus leaned back in his chair. Maya, I understand you're proud of your work. You should be. But you also need to understand how business works. Our clients and the Pentagon need to have confidence in our engineering capabilities. They expect solutions to come from experienced engineers with proper credentials. So you're saying I can't get credit because I don't have the right degree, Maya asked. I'm saying that perception matters in business, Marcus replied. Kevin Brooks has a master's degree from MIT. Our clients trust him. If we tell them that a maintenance worker with a community college degree solved our biggest problem, they might lose confidence in our company. Maya felt like she had been slapped. So you're going to lie about who really did the work? Marcus's expression became serious. I'm not lying about anything. This was a team effort. You provided valuable input, and the engineering team implemented the solutions. Everyone played their part. That's not what happened, and you know it, Maya said, her voice getting louder. Marcus stood up from his desk. Maya, I'm offering you a great opportunity here. A promotion, more money, a chance to work with the engineering team officially. I suggest you take it and be grateful. Maya looked at Marcus for a long moment. She realized that he had never intended to give her proper credit. He had used her to solve the problem, and now he was trying to make the truth disappear. I need to think about it, Maya said finally. Don't think too long, Marcus warned. This offer won't last forever. And Maya, I hope you understand the importance of being a team player. Companies don't succeed when employees fight among themselves. Maya left Marcus's office feeling betrayed. She had saved the company and solved an impossible problem. In return, they were stealing her credit and asking her to be grateful for the scraps they offered. That evening, Maya sat in her apartment looking at her copies of the original reports and notes. She had proof of what really happened, but she wasn't sure what to do with it. She thought about accepting the promotion and staying quiet. It would mean more money and a better position, but it would also mean living with the lie that other people had done her work. Maya had always believed that the truth mattered. Her grandmother had taught her that honest work deserved honest recognition, but now she was learning that the world didn't always work that way. As she looked at the engine diagrams still taped to her walls, Maya made a decision. She wasn't going to let them steal her work. She wasn't going to accept their version of the truth. She was going to fight back. Maya spent the weekend organizing all her evidence. She spread everything on her kitchen table, her original notes, emails, technical drawings, and photos of her work. She also wrote down the names of people who had witnessed her solving the engine problems. On Monday morning, Maya called in sick to work. Instead of going to Hamilton Industries, she drove to the city library. She needed to research what options she had. She also needed to find someone who could help her tell her story. At the library, Maya used the computers to search for information about workplace discrimination and intellectual property theft. She learned that what happened to her was not uncommon. Many companies took credit for their employees' work, especially when those employees were women or minorities. Maya also searched for journalists who wrote about corporate misconduct. She found several names, but one stood out: Tony Rodriguez. He worked for the city newspaper and had written many stories about companies that mistreated their workers. His articles were well-researched and fair. Maya found Tony's email address on the newspaper's website. She wrote him a message explaining her situation. She kept it simple and factual. She told him about the engine problem, her solution, and how the company was now taking credit for her work. Maya sent the email and waited. She didn't expect a quick response. Journalists probably got many messages from people with complaints about their employers. But Tony Rodriguez responded the same. His email was short. "Your story sounds interesting. Can we meet to talk? I'm available this afternoon." Maya was nervous about meeting a reporter, but she knew this might be her only chance to get the truth out. She agreed to meet Tony at a coffee shop downtown. Tony Rodriguez was younger than Maya had expected. He was maybe 35 years old, with dark hair and friendly eyes. He carried a small notebook and a voice recorder. "Thank you for meeting with me," Tony said, as they sat at a corner table. "Tell me your story from the beginning." Maya started with the day Linda Carter asked her to look at the engine problems. She explained how she studied the plans, found the issues, and developed solutions. She told Tony about the successful test and how excited everyone was. Then Maya described what happened after the success. She told Tony about the company meeting where Marcus didn't mention her name. She explained how her reports were rewritten and her credit was given to other engineers. Tony listened carefully and took notes. Occasionally, he asked questions to clarify details. He seemed genuinely interested in her story. "Do you have proof of what you're telling me?" Tony asked. Maya opened her folder and showed Tony her evidence. She had copies of her original reports, emails she had sent to Kevin Brooks, and photos of her working on the engine modifications. She also had the rewritten reports that gave credit to other engineers. Tony examined everything carefully. "This is very good documentation," he said. "You were smart to keep copies of everything. I had a feeling something like this might happen," Maya admitted. Tony put down the papers and looked at Maya directly. "I believe your story, but before I can write anything, I need to verify the facts. Can you give me names of people who witnessed your work?" Maya gave Tony the names of several people. There was Jake Collins from the machine shop, who had helped her build the modified engine parts. There was Maria Santos, a secretary who had seen Maya working late nights in the engineering department. There was also Bill Thompson, a security guard who had let Maya into the building on weekends when she came to study the engine plans. "I'll contact these people and get their statements," Tony said. "But I have to warn you about something. Investigating a story like this takes time, and companies like Hamilton Industries have lawyers who will try to stop me from publishing anything." "How long will it take?" Maya asked. "At least 2 weeks, maybe more. I need to be very careful to get all the facts right. One mistake could ruin the whole story." Maya felt disappointed. She had hoped for quicker action. "What should I do in the meantime?" "Go back to work and act normally," Tony advised. "Don't tell anyone you talk to me. If people at your company find out you're working with a journalist, they might try to stop you or destroy evidence." Maya nodded. She understood the need for secrecy, but it would be hard to pretend everything was normal. Over the next 2 weeks, Tony worked on investigating Maya's story. He called the witnesses Maya had named. Jake Collins confirmed that Maya had personally supervised all the engine modifications. Maria Santos remembered seeing Maya working alone in the engineering department many evenings. Bill Thompson verified that Maya had come to the building on weekends to work on the project. Tony also did background research on Hamilton Industries. He looked up public records and news articles about the company. He found some interesting information. 3 years earlier, a junior employee named Carol Davis had developed a new manufacturing process that saved the company a lot of money. But when the company announced the innovation, they gave credit to her supervisor, a senior manager named Richard Stone. Carol had left the company shortly after, and now worked for a competitor. Tony found Carol's contact information and called her. She was hesitant to talk at first, but when Tony explained Maya's situation, she agreed to meet with him. "The same thing happened to me," Carol told Tony over lunch. "I spent months developing a new process for making metal parts faster and cheaper. When it worked, my boss took all the credit. He even got a bonus and a promotion based on my work." "Why didn't you complain?" Tony asked. "I tried," Carol said. "I went to HR and explained what really happened. They told me that ideas developed at work belong to the company, not to individual employees. They said I should be happy that my work was helping the company succeed." "What happened then?" "I was offered a small promotion and told to stop making trouble. When I refused to sign a non-disclosure agreement, they made my life miserable. They gave me bad assignments and excluded me from important meetings. Finally, I quit." Tony asked Carol if she would be willing to talk publicly about her experience. She agreed. She had been waiting for someone to expose Hamilton Industries for years. Tony also found another similar case. 2 years ago, an employee named Frank Peterson had designed a safety improvement for one of the company's machines. The improvement was later patented under the name of his supervisor. Frank had also left the company after complaining about the theft of his idea. Tony tried to contact Frank but learned that he had signed a non-disclosure agreement as part of his severance package. He couldn't talk about his experience at Hamilton Industries without risking a lawsuit. By the end of 2 weeks, Tony had gathered enough evidence to write his story. He had witness statements, company documents, and interviews with former employees. He also had Maya's detailed technical evidence showing that she had solved the engine problems. Tony called Maya and asked her to meet him again at the coffee shop. "I have good news and bad news," Tony said when they sat down. "The good news is that I have enough evidence to write your story. The bad news is that Hamilton Industries is going to fight back hard when this comes out." "What do you mean?" Maya asked. "Companies like this have expensive lawyers and public relations experts. They will try to discredit you and me. They might say you're lying or that you're a disgruntled employee trying to get money from the company." Maya felt scared. She hadn't thought about the company fighting back. "Maybe I should just accept their promotion offer and forget about this." Tony shook his head. "Maya, what happened to you was wrong. If you don't fight back, it will keep happening to other people." Carol Davis and Frank Peterson stayed quiet, and nothing changed. Maya thought about this. She remembered her grandmother's words about honest work deserving honest recognition. She thought about other young women and minorities who might face the same situation in the future. "When will you publish the story?" Maya asked. "Next week," Tony replied. "The newspaper's editors have approved it. But Maya, once this story comes out, there's no going back. Are you sure you want to do this?" Maya looked at Tony for a long moment. She thought about everything that had happened. She thought about the engine she had fixed and the credit that was stolen from her. She thought about the promotion offer that came with silence. "Yes," Maya said firmly. "I want to do this. People need to know the truth." Tony smiled. "Then let's make sure the world knows what really happened." Maya left the coffee shop feeling nervous but determined. In a few days, everyone would know her story. Hamilton Industries would know that she had fought back. There would be consequences, but Maya was ready to face them. The truth was about to come out. On Tuesday morning, Maya woke up early and checked her phone. Tony Rodriguez had sent her a text message. "Story published online at 6 a.m. Print edition hits the streets at 8 a.m. Stay strong." Maya's hands shook as she opened the newspaper's website on her laptop. There it was, on the front page. Local company accused of stealing employees' work. Pentagon contract based on stolen innovation. Maya read the article 3 times. Tony had done an excellent job. He told her story clearly and fairly. He included quotes from Jake Collins, Maria Santos, and other witnesses. He also wrote about Carol Davis and her similar experience at Hamilton Industries. The article showed photos of Maya's original technical drawings alongside the rewritten reports that gave credit to other engineers. The evidence was clear and undeniable. Maya's phone started ringing at 7:30 a.m. The first call was from her mother, who had seen the story online. "Maya, honey, I'm so proud of you," her mother said. "You did the right thing by telling the truth." The second call was from Linda Carter. She sounded worried. "Maya, Marcus wants to see you in his office immediately. He's very upset." Maya felt nervous, but she was ready for this confrontation. She had known it would come. "Tell him I'll be there in an hour," Maya said. By the time Maya arrived at Hamilton Industries, the parking lot was full of news trucks and reporters. Security guards were keeping them outside the building, but Maya could see camera crews setting up equipment. Inside the building, everything felt different. Employees were gathered in small groups, talking quietly. Some people stared at Maya as she walked through the hallways. A few gave her supportive smiles, but others looked angry or worried. Maya went straight to Marcus Hamilton's office. His secretary told her to go right in. Marcus was standing behind his desk, holding a copy of the newspaper. His face was red with anger. Kevin Brooks was sitting in a chair looking upset. Patricia Williams from finance was there too, along with a man Maya didn't recognize. "Maya, sit down," Marcus said in a cold voice. Maya sat in the only empty chair. She tried to stay calm, but her heart was beating fast. "This is Robert Chen, our company lawyer," Marcus said, pointing to the man she didn't recognize. "He has some questions for you." Robert Chen opened a folder and looked at Maya. "Miss Washington, did you speak to a reporter named Tony Rodriguez about confidential company business?" "I told him the truth about my work on the engine project," Maya replied. "You violated your employment agreement," the lawyer continued. "You shared proprietary information with an outside party without permission. That's grounds for immediate termination." Maya had expected this. "The information I shared was about my own work, my own ideas and solutions." Marcus slammed the newspaper on his desk. "Your work? You seem to forget that you work for this company. Everything you do here belongs to Hamilton Industries." "I solved problems that your engineers couldn't solve," Maya said, her voice getting stronger. "I saved your military contract, and instead of thanking me, you tried to steal credit for my work." Kevin Brooks finally spoke up. "Maya, you're being ridiculous. Engineering is a team effort. No one person deserves all the credit." "Then why did you remove my name from all the reports?" Maya asked. "Why did you put your name on my technical analysis?" Kevin looked uncomfortable but didn't answer. The lawyer tried again. "Miss Washington, this newspaper article is very damaging to our company's reputation. It could cost us the military contract. Are you prepared to take responsibility for that?" Maya felt a moment of doubt. She didn't want to hurt the other employees who needed their jobs. But then she remembered what Tony Rodriguez had said about other people facing the same situation if she stayed quiet. "I'm responsible for telling the truth," Maya said. "If that damages the company's reputation, maybe the company should think about why the truth is so damaging." Marcus's phone rang. He answered it angrily. "What? How many reporters? Tell them we have no comment." He hung up and turned back to Maya. "Thanks to you, we have reporters calling all morning. The Pentagon is asking questions about the article. Our stock price is dropping." "Mr. Hamilton, I gave you a chance to do the right thing," Maya said. "You could have given me proper credit for my work. Instead, you tried to make me disappear." Patricia Williams spoke for the first time. "Maya, we offered you a promotion. We were trying to reward your contributions." "You offered me a promotion in exchange for staying quiet about the truth," Maya corrected. "That's not the same thing." The lawyer pulled out some papers. "Miss Washington, We're prepared to offer you a settlement, a substantial amount of money in exchange for you signing a statement saying the newspaper article contains errors. Maya looked at the papers but didn't take them. How much money? $50,000, the lawyer said. And you can keep your job with the promotion we offered before. Maya thought about the money. $50,000 was more than she made in 2 years. It would change her life. But it would also mean lying about what really happened. What if I say no? Maya asked. Then we'll fire you for violating your employment agreement, Marcus said. And we'll sue you for damages to the company's reputation. You'll spend years in court and probably lose everything. Maya felt scared, but she also felt angry. They were trying to bully her into giving up. They wanted to pay her to lie. I need time to think about it, Maya said. You have until tomorrow morning, the lawyer said. After that, the offer disappears. Maya left the office feeling overwhelmed. In the hallway, she met Jake Collins from the machine shop. Maya, I saw the newspaper story, Jake said quietly. I'm glad you told the truth. What you did with that engine was amazing. Everyone in the shop knows it. Jake's words made Maya feel better. At least some people knew what really happened. That afternoon, Maya's phone rang constantly. Reporters wanted to interview her. Other newspapers wanted to write their own stories. A lawyer called and offered to represent her for free if Hamilton Industries sued her. The most surprising call came from Colonel James Mitchell at the Pentagon. He introduced himself as the officer in charge of the engine contract. Miss Washington, I read the article about your work, Colonel Mitchell said. Is everything in that story true? Yes, sir, Maya answered. The Pentagon takes these allegations very seriously. We're going to investigate this matter thoroughly. We need to know if the work we're paying for was really done by the people who claim credit for it. Maya felt hopeful for the first time all day. Maybe the truth would actually matter. That evening, Maya sat in her apartment thinking about the settlement offer. $50,000 was a lot of money. She could pay off her student loans, buy a car, maybe even put a down payment on a house. But she would have to live with the lie. She would have to watch Marcus Hamilton and Kevin Brooks get credit for her work. Other employees like Carol Davis and Frank Peterson would see that fighting back didn't work. Maya looked at the engine diagrams still hanging on her walls. She remembered the feeling of solving those impossible problems. She remembered the excitement of seeing her modified engine work perfectly. That work belonged to her. Those ideas came from her mind, her experience, her dedication. No amount of money was worth giving that up. Maya picked up her phone and called the lawyer who had offered to represent her. Mr. Johnson, this is Maya Washington. I want to hire you. Hamilton Industries is going to fire me tomorrow and they'll probably sue me. But I'm not backing down. Are you sure about this, Maya? It's going to be a difficult fight. Maya looked at her engine diagrams one more time. I'm sure. The truth is worth fighting for. The next morning, Maya went to work early. She cleaned out her desk and said goodbye to her friends in the maintenance department. At 9 o'clock, she went to Marcus Hamilton's office. Mr. Hamilton, I'm rejecting your settlement offer, Maya said. I won't sign any papers saying the newspaper article was wrong. Marcus looked angry but not surprised. Then you're fired. Security will escort you out of the building. That's fine, Maya said. But before I go, I want you to know something. In 6 months, everyone will know the truth about what happened here. You can fire me, but you can't change the facts. Maya walked out of Hamilton Industries with her head held high. Outside, reporters were waiting for her. Camera crews filmed her as she spoke about her decision to fight for the truth. 6 months later, Maya won her lawsuit against Hamilton Industries. The company had to pay her $200,000 and publicly admit that she had solved the engine problems. Marcus Hamilton resigned in disgrace. Kevin Brooks was demoted and eventually left the company. Maya used her settlement money to start her own engineering consulting business. Within a year, she had contracts with 3 major companies who wanted her practical problem-solving skills. The Pentagon awarded the engine contract to Maya's new company instead of Hamilton Industries. She hired several of her former colleagues, including Jake Collins and Maria Santos. Maya's story became famous in engineering circles. She spoke at conferences about innovation and workplace fairness. Young women and minorities in engineering looked up to her as an example of someone who fought for what was right. Maya kept one of her original engine diagrams framed on the wall of her new office. It reminded her that the truth was always worth fighting for, no matter how difficult the battle might be.